Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can create highly realistic images like the ones that you're seeing right now on the screen. You can even get this amount of detail. Just look at this image. This is not a real image. This is an image created with AI, and it's actually created with a model called FLUX. I'll be showing you step by step how can you build that prompt that then generates these kind of images. It's just surreal, the kind of level of realism that you can get right now with AI is unbelievable. And also I'm going to be sharing with you the pipeline and the entire thought process that I have that allows me to create these kind of highly realistic videos like the ones that you are seeing right now on a screen. Is just unbelievable, the level of realism that you can get even with videos right now. And one of the key ideas that I really want you to get from this video is something that I have here written, that the first step to get truly realistic AI videos is to have a realistic image as the base. So let me explain you what I mean by that. And for that, let me just open this diagram that I have here. So you might think that if you want to get a really good AI video, you can just go to one of these text to video models and just prompt something and then just get a really great video. For example, you can just say girl smiling and you're gonna get something as realistic and as good as this one. The reality is that you're not gonna get anything closely similar to that one. So I'm gonna explain you here the pipeline that I follow to really get these kind of videos. Okay, so let me just show you what I mean by this pipeline. So what I mean is that to get from text to video, you wanna do some intermediate steps in between. You first wanna work hard on getting a really good prompt. So that is the very first step that I'm putting here, and I'm gonna show you in this video different ways or different tools for you to do that. The next step is once you have this enhanced prompt that I call it, you can then now prompt your favorite image generator, but in this video I'm gonna show you which is the one that I like and why. It's gonna be FLUX already. And once you have that final image that you like, then you go and create your video from that image. But let me just explain you that a bit better, so just for you to understand how I think about these things. So I think about this process as a kind of like as a two-step process to get to that video. And let me just focus now, or let me just separate that two-step process here in the pipeline. So what we have in the very beginning is that, or how I think about it, right? So how I think about it is that I want to first focus on the characters, on the composition of the image, on the style, on the lighting, and all those things that compose the actual scene. And I want to do that with the prompt, with my image generator, right? So now I have that image at this point that I really, really like. So then the last step, the only last thing that I have to do is to prompt an image to video model to take an action. And let me just show you what I mean. So you first want to get an image of a highly realistic image of a woman or whatever you're doing. So in this case, I was going for a young woman. For example, these two I think are incredibly realistic. And then I use this image to go and prompt an image to video model and then get like these kind of emotions or expressions out of her face, right? And here I was only prompting the model to take an action, something like a mouth opens widely and eyes are closed. So this is the action that we take, right? So I will show you that later. Well, actually not later in this video, but in another video that I'm going to be putting somewhere here in the screen that I'm going to be uploading along with this video. In this video that you're currently watching, I'm going to focus on how to create the first part of it, right? How to create the image. And then in this other video that still you can click and watch it if you want to, I'm going to focus on how to prompt this Halio Minimax model to get from an image to a video. And continuing now with the image generation part, right? So let me just go and review with you some of the famous or typical models for text to image. So I think the most famous one and the one that I've used personally the most, I think I've been using this for more than 2 years, is Midjourney. Midjourney is fantastic. I really, really love it. But I gotta be honest, right now I like another model even more, and this is the model that I'm gonna be showing you today and how to use it and so on. So that model is called FLUX. It's called like this, FLUX 1.1 Pro. So this is the latest version, and they also have a FLUX 1.0, of course. And I think it's just phenomenal. And why I think it's phenomenal? I think two main reasons that I have here. Realism, so the quality of the image when it comes to realistic images is just out of this world. Just have a look at this image, for example. This is just unbelievable how good this is. This one as well could be just a photo taken in Lanzarote, where I'm from. It's just perfectly realistic. But even though I'm saying right now that I like FLUX more over Midjourney, I think Midjourney still is amazing. It's still great, and I think Midjourney still has some use cases that excels at and is better than FLUX. For example, when it comes to pure creativity, I think Midjourney is a bit better. Also, when it comes to beautiful composition of the image and just giving it like, I don't know, a particular style, I think Midjourney wins. But the use cases that I'm looking at, which is creating realistic videos, and maybe if you click on this video, you as well, I think for that one, FLUX is a bit better. Okay, and now how can you get started using FLUX, right? So you have several ways of using FLUX, but also understand FLUX as a deep learning model, as an artificial intelligence model that takes text and outputs an image, right? It's just a model. So you need a website, or you need kind of like a user interface for you to use it. Actually, you have that option, and I'm gonna present to you the one that I like the most is through TogetherAI. But also, this is the second thing that I put here about FLUX. So this is why I right now prefer FLUX over Midjourney, is that FLUX provides also an API. So that means that via code, you can also prompt FLUX, and that allows you to build FLUX in your applications, which is kind of amazing. So let me just focus in this video on the easier part, on you having a user space to interact with it. So this is TogetherAI. TogetherAI is an artificial intelligence company. I think they provide inference, which is just a place for you to run these models. And they also provide a playground. And this playground has a user interface. So you can just go select here 1.1 Pro, and now you are able to prompt it. And actually, you have $5 for you to spend on TogetherAI. I think every single image, more or less, I think costs 5 cents. So you have plenty. And here's where the magic happens, right? Like here's where you can write a prompt, for example, a guy with a mustache. You click enter, and then the model generates that for you. You got it. So this is actually a really good image. It's pretty realistic. But in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create even more realistic images, right? But for that, we need to understand first a thing or two about prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? In a sense, it means what I explained to you in the very beginning, right? Is to create a really good prompt, right? To start from a simple base prompt that could be something like a guy with a mustache to something more detailed. And that level of detail in your description, in your prompt, is gonna then trigger a better image in your model. And you might think now, okay, but how can I create good prompts? So how can I apply this prompt engineering technique? So AI is also here to help you in that sense. So let me just open this tool that I found some weeks ago, and I think is amazing. So this tool is a prompt generator tool. This is the tool that allows you to go from a simple prompt. Let's go again with guy with a mustache. You can generate prompt here, and then you can use an LLM, so a large language model, to improve that prompt even further. So let's just see what is the result. Okay, we got it, and it usually takes approximately like 4 or 5 seconds. So you can now copy this prompt. You can go to, again, the place for you to create that image, press enter. And now you have a, well, in the sense of like better or worse image. You might think that this image is a bit better, but what you have for sure is a better prompt, right? So this is the very first step for you to create good images. Okay, and I want to go back to this tool, and I want to explain to you how you can use it, like how can you really squeeze all the potential of this tool. And I want to explain you just every single thing. So something that is, so it has, let's say, 2 different or 3 different purposes actually. You have, in this first column here, you have a way for you to select one by one all these parameters of all these pieces that could build a really good prompt. So let's just do that for example. So for example, I'm gonna create a mail. So let's just forget about this one for now. A mail, something like, okay, what is the art form? This is gonna be photography. For example, this could be taken at a studio. The lighting could be something like, something that I like, for example, would be soft lighting. Can also have a style and artist, but let's just leave it here and now see what happens, right? Now when we create generate prompt, now we have a much better prompt, right? So we can, and actually I think we are missing, for example, guy with a mustache. Let's see if this adds that there. Yes. So a guy with a mustache with long hair, white walls, large window, indoor setting. Okay, so let's just take this prompt. We can just copy it here. We go to FLUX, so to TogetherAI, and now we call it. So let's see what happens. So now we're getting an image that looks much more realistic. Let's just, well, I think we can see it here. It's fantastic. Like this image is already pretty good. I think I still can see in the skin that it's not truly realistic, but it's much better. And if we now go back to this tool, we still have this generate prompt with LLM, which is you use a large language model, like it could be ChatGPT or whatever, so GPT-4 or whatever, to create a really good prompt from this. So let's see what happens. Exactly. So let's just copy that one and we paste it here. Okay, now that's an image that is really good. And lastly, I want to show you another feature of this application, which is the image and caption. That is that you can input an image here and you're gonna get a description of that image. So this really allows for a lot of creativity, in the sense of like you can now take any style that you like or any photo, anything that you have seen before, put it here. You're gonna have a nice idea of how you can prompt a model to get a similar idea, right? You're not gonna be able to copy an image. That's impossible because there's not a way to describe an image completely with words so that an element will replicate it completely, but you can get an idea of the composition, the lighting, and so on. So let me just give you an example. And actually, for the example, I wanna use a movie as a reference. This is my movie recommendation of the day, which is The Neon Demon. I watched this year. I think it was in March, and I loved it. I think it's a really good movie. It's something like an 8 out of 10, but in regards to cinematography, is incredible. It's from the same director of Drive. Is fantastic. So let me show you what I mean by this amazing cinematography. I think in this website Film Wrap you can see some movie shots from movies, and yeah, in this movie I think the first scene, for example, is incredible. And let's say that I like this photo, so I can just save this photo in my downloads folder. You can take it. Okay, awesome. We go here, we put it, and now we use this create caption button. And now we have a description of that image, right? The image shows a dark room, and we have, for example, an idea of this style. If you don't know how to describe this style, okay, this image is dark and mysterious. So let's just get something a bit more interesting. Again, we upload that image, we click on create caption. Usually can take about 3 or 4 seconds. So now you have it here. Also, you have other models. You have this Qwen V2. So these are vision models. So Florence 2, Qwen 2. I think Florence is for Microsoft. Joy Caption, I don't know that one, but I think it creates even more detailed images. So, and indeed, the prompt that we got now, or the caption that we got now, is very detailed. So we can just copy that and see what happens in TogetherAI. Wow. So, I mean, this, of course, as I said before, you are never going to be able to replicate as it is an image, but you can get an idea of it. For example, here is very well described the neon lights, for example, and this is very nicely, you can see that perfectly in that image. And before we jump into more details about how to prompt FLUX, let me just tell you briefly about my recommendation. I think I asked ChatGPT yesterday if I would recommend the Neon Demon to everybody, and definitely not. So this is something that just don't watch the movie right away, just read about it. Maybe you're not gonna like it. If you do like style and just the overall aesthetic in movies, if you like, for example, Wes Anderson, and you appreciate good composition and good photography, good color grading and so on, then this movie is gonna be amazing. But it is weird. It is a tough movie, so read before you watch it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is a hack, something that was just being shared everywhere online in the past weeks, which is a trick, of how you can get extremely realistic images by using the file extension of a photo image. For example, if you put something like image, just a random number, .hike, and we press enter, we get a really good image. And this is completely random, right? If we click again, we're gonna get a different image from a different thing, because this could be whatever. So this is food, for example, but you can prompt it in a way that you get, for example, a selfie. Wow. And this is the kind of things that you can get with this. You can get highly realistic images. So this selfie is so real, how good this is. This one as well. The iPhone, everything. So the selfies one is really good, but you can just put whatever you want. You can put something like, this is good, Dina. Another trick is that you can put that keyword inside the image file name. So, okay, wow. So this, for example, is much more realistic. And my last tip is to use ChatGPT to really aid you on creating prompts as you would use it with the prompt generator that I showed you before from Hugging Face. You can write your own prompts to ChatGPT to create better prompts. So for example, this is something that I just wrote, that I just think of, just a small description of what I want ChatGPT to do, and then just ask for confirmation. Understood, ready to receive the base prompt. And then now I'm ready to say something like guy with a mustache. And I'll have ChatGPT enriching that prompt, right? Like in the same way that you would do it before. So if we press enter, okay, that's good, but you can do just whatever you want. Another one would be something like fashion photo. Okay, this is very interesting. So ChatGPT is already integrating this search option, and it did a quick search on Google to understand how a fashion photo looks like, and then it's giving me now a better prompt. So let's try to use that prompt right now. And we got that photo. And since ChatGPT and GPT-4o have vision capabilities, you can take one of the photos that we downloaded before and say something, describe this image. And now we have a description of that image that is already tailored for FLUX. And to finish up with this, I think I have a message here that I really want you also to get, is that to really learn to create good prompts, you have to test, you have to try and try. By trying, for example, the other day, I just got these two prompts that were working really well on something that I was working on. For example, creating, wow, this is good. So to create a studio photo, for example, right? So these are really good, and I think I was getting highly realistic images. If you try that again, it would be really good. And of course, there are going to be words that work better than others. So this is the whole part of prompt engineering. So if you are interested in prompt engineering and you want a better, longer video about how to do proper prompt engineering in Midjourney or FLUX, just let me know in the comments, and I'll work on that. And just a quick comment, right? So I think in the beginning I said that Midjourney is great, and I think it is great, but when it comes to humans and highly realistic images, I think so it feels like the skin is just too soft, too perfect on Midjourney, and always the freckles. I think the freckles always appear, and that's something that I'm not a fan of those freckles. It really looks like Midjourney every single time, and it's very difficult to get rid of those. You can, but it's just not ideal. And the other good thing about FLUX, better than Midjourney, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, is that you have the possibility to integrate FLUX in your application. So that means that you can build apps that use Midjourney. So for example, something that I want to show you very quickly is an app that I worked on over the past weekend. and actually made a video explaining every single piece. I actually made a video while building the app itself, so you can just follow my steps and just build it yourself if you just know a little bit of Python. But with this app, now you can do both things in a row. So you, for example, have a base prompt, now you generate a detailed prompt. Awesome. And then after that, you create an image already, right? So this is just something that I already do. And another cool thing about this app, for example, is that now the image is already saved in my folder whenever I want, right? I have complete control over this app because it's just code that I wrote. And to finish up with this video that I'm hoping is not getting too long, is that, as I said in the very beginning, like these realistic images that you can build, or well, realistic or not, it doesn't matter. So the images that you build with FLUX or with Midjourney or with all these things that I've showed you today are the base then for you to create highly realistic videos. And this is a Halo Minimax interface for where I'm building videos. This one, for example, was really good, but actually I'm not using an image as a base here. But for example, in some of the ones that I used, for example, this one, this is taking one original image that I created with this pipeline that I showed to you, and then I'm prompting the model to do some actions, right? Like we can see now here the prompt, and the outcome is unbelievable. It's just so good. I'm completely amazed. So if you want to learn about how to use Minimax to create those highly realistic videos, check my video that I'm going to put somewhere here in the screen. And also subscribe to be notified when I upload similar videos. Bye bye.